It's the second hour, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for turning on. It's the first of the month, so go and get an insider subscription right now. Right now. Just go to your computer, drglidden.com, click on the link, become an insider, and check it out for 1 month. $20. You can find $20 in change in 1 month if money's really tight. $20, cancel anytime, and if you don't love what you see, if you don't love the stuff you have access to, I'll eat my hat. Check it out right now, drglidden.com, become an insider. And by the way, I can't remember the last time that this happened, but we have phone lines open at the studio. That never happens here. You want to talk to me today? It's your perfect time to call. 844-374-5433. That's 844-DR-GLIDDEN. 844-374-5433. 844-374-5433. We're going to go to the chat room now on the live video stream. We have, let me see how many people now, 79 people in the chat room watching the live stream. And here's a question from the chat room. Hold on here. Bernie says, is alcoholic cirrhosis reversible? My friend has been on a transplant list, but with milk thistle and apple cider, vinegar and baking soda, she's been taken off the list, at least for now. Can longevity help? Well, I'll tell you one of my favorite Dr. Wallach stories. There's a woman named Elaine Ayagata, and she was suffering from a chronic liver wasting disease. I'll think of it in a minute. It's fancy schmancy doctor talk. Her liver was getting smaller and smaller. She'd had over 20 liver surgeries at Harvard University and was on a liver transplant list when her husband heard Dr. Wallach on the radio. Without seeing her chart, without knowing anything other than the name of the disease, Dr. Wallach was able to get this woman on board with a medical nutrition support program, the intention of which was to support and promote the structure and function of her body and with extra help for the liver. Remember, she'd had over 20 surgeries at Harvard. Her liver was the size of an Oreo cookie when Dr. Wallach got to her, and she was on a liver transplant list, living at the hospital, right, because she couldn't live without support. She started the medical nutrition program. Within a month, she was released from the hospital, and within a year, the liver had completely grown back. The liver is the only organ, in fact, that can completely regenerate itself. You can remove over 70% of it surgically, and it'll grow back. So, yes, the potential is high for a remarkable resolution of chronic liver problems. Chronic liver problems, the probability is high that you will be able to come a long way back towards health. And in order to support and promote the structure and function of the liver and, quite frankly, the body, the recommendation would be 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 2 selenium, 1 Hepal, 1 immortalium, 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 2 selenium, 1 Hepal, and 1 immortalium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and eat a diet high in cholesterol. And that is what I have to say about that. And I still can't remember the name of that illness, but I will remember it shortly. Here we go. We had another question in the chat room about rheumatoid arthritis. And the person wanted to know what is our understanding of rheumatoid arthritis. And what do we recommend people do when they're in the throes of a rheumatoid arthritis predicament? Well, the recommendation here is, of course, to give the body bone and joint support, because that's what the body needs when it's in the throes of a diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. And remember, a diagnosis is just a name. right? The rheumatoid arthritis does not exist like a bumblebee exists or like a tennis ball exists. Rheumatoid arthritis is a name of an intangible set of symptoms showing up in a living, breathing human being. You can bring me a box of tennis balls, you can bring me a box of bumblebees, but you can't bring me a box of rheumatoid arthritis. So remember, in point of fact, even in a private practice, working in a state that licenses and regulates naturopathic medicine, in which I hold a license to practice naturopathic medicine, as I do now in Minnesota, we don't treat disease. Not specifically, because there's no such thing as disease. I can't treat something that doesn't exist. Rheumatoid arthritis, as a name, it's an intangible name. That's all that it is. I can't treat an intangible name, but I can help people. I can help a person's body who is suffering from a group of symptoms that the MDs have decided to give a name to. You see that distinction? We don't treat diseases, we treat people. MDs treat diseases. That's why they suck at what they do. We treat people. There's a gigantic difference because diseases don't exist. You can't treat a disease. You can treat a person. You can't treat a disease because diseases don't exist. So for rheumatoid arthritis, what we do is support and promote the structure and function of bones and joints. And that's easy to do. 1 healthy bone and joint pack and 1 killer biotic per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy bone and joint pack and 1 killer biotic per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Phones are ringing now. Robert from California is up with a question about hunger pangs, I think. Hey, Robert, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Robert, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm calling because, I called 3 weeks ago, and you gave me a list of products to take, for my dad, and I got them. But now he's had this before, but it's never been pinpointed, diagnosed, I guess. He has these, it feels like he's hungry.
Yeah.
And he has some pain.
Yeah.
But then whenever he eats, it intensifies, so it becomes worse.
Yeah. Okay, so has he stopped the 10 bad foods yet?
Yes, he has.
Okay, so has he ever suffered from heartburn? Has that been at play in his health history?
Yes.
Yeah, and is he still taking heartburn meds like Prilosec or proton pump inhibitors or any of that stuff?
He's taking omeprazole, Carafate, and I think sometimes he takes Nexium, which I think is kind of like the same thing as omeprazole.
Yeah, okay. So, I'm not licensed to practice naturopathic medicine in California. I could be. I could be if I wanted to pay the state and send him my records. I could be licensed to practice, but I'm not right now, so I can't tell him to stop taking those drugs. If he were my patient in a state in which I could prescribe those drugs, I'd tell him to stop taking those drugs. But I can't do that. He needs to salt his food. I would give him 2 extra ounces of the calcium a day. I would give him 2 extra ounces of the calcium a day. Make sure he's salting his food so that it tastes good. And another thing that you can do to kind of up the ante with his digestive acid, which is necessary to do here, you could give him a half of a lemon, squeeze the juice of half of a lemon into a little bit of warm water, and have him drink that down at the beginning of every meal. Have him just throw it down like a shot, like a shot of whiskey. Just throw it down, a lemon juice with a little bit of warm water at the beginning of a meal. Make sure that he's salting his food so that it tastes good. And I would encourage him wholeheartedly to step away from any type of antacid or proton pump inhibitor because that stuff is gumming up the works in his digestive process. And the digestive process is like a series of dominoes, each which knocks the other over. And if you remove 1 or 2 of those dominoes with, an antacid or a proton pump inhibitor, you're going to upset everything else downstream from that, and it's going to cause any number of problems. And so that we have to, clear the fog here, let the dust settle, and then just move forward with medical nutrition. Now, another interesting thing that may be at play here, because I don't have a photographic memory, oftentimes when people are taking drugs for a long time, their bodies, of course, become undernutrified in an accelerated state because of the action of the drug on the body. And so then they continue to take the drugs, and they start with medical nutrition. So they clean their diet up, and they take the longevity products or whatever. All of a sudden, they'll develop side effects of the drugs that they never had before. Because now the drugs are working very efficiently because the body has all the nutrients that the drugs need to work. And nobody ever talks about that. So often, ironically, some of the symptoms that people will experience after they start, with longevity especially, are not anything caused by the nutritional supplements, but are actually side effects of the drugs, because the drugs are now working more efficiently in their body because their bodies are nutrified. So I would go on the internet and I would look up, the biggest side effects of these drugs and see if it matches any of his presenting symptoms. And I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But notwithstanding that, we need to give him more support in the digestive area. And the sooner he gets off of proton pump inhibitors, in my opinion, the better it's going to be for him. And I can't recommend that he does that because I'm not licensed to practice medicine in the state of California. You get my drift?
Yes. I also had another question. Well, but before that, so I don't know if my dad may have like an ulcer or, like bacteria, because he's not diagnosed. So, should he, are all these things, would they still apply with those conditions if possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, the most common cause of an ulcer is the presence of a bacteria called H. pylori. So call his doctor up and say, look, I want you to do an H. pylori test, Pylori, H like Harry, pylori. That's the main cause of ulcers, but there's no harm and no foul in giving him these nutritional supplements if, in fact, that's the case. That's us, baby, coming over the hill to the rescue. Somebody's got to come to the rescue. I mean, wasn't that your favorite part? Wasn't that your favorite part of the westerns? I mean, isn't that your favorite part of the war movies? I mean, in the 11th hour, the cavalry comes to the rescue. The reinforcements jump out of the plane and paratroop onto the battlefield. The other army's army comes around the bend. Gandalf comes to the rescue at Helm's Deep. You gotta love stuff like that. Well, that's what we do. We're not the Rohirrim. But we're close, baby. We're as close as it gets. And this is why you need to become a Longevity Insider. Dr. Glidden Insider, this is why you need to become a Longevity member. You need to become a Longevity member. You do. If you were directed to this website, to my website, to this radio program, by a longevity associate, by a longevity member, get with them right now and ask them how to become a member of longevity. It's their job to show you the ropes. They brought you here. You go to them. They show you the ropes. Join the team, man. You don't know what you're missing. You're going to love it. I mean, you don't get to experience this sense of camaraderie and this sense of teamwork, this sense of one-pointed determination in any other field of endeavor besides sports or the military. Both of which will kill you. This will not kill you. This will give you satisfaction deep down into your bones. Satisfaction. Join longevity. Now, if you found your way to me on your own, if you were just browsing the internet and I popped up somewhere, go to my website and click on Join Team Glidden. Someone from my organization will get in touch with you and will show you the ropes. You need to join longevity. You need to join longevity today. You need to get started helping people recover their health while you build your fortune. And I'm talking fortune. Fortune with a capital F. Can you even conceptualize what it would be like to have a fortune, a financial fortune? Can you even conceptualize what that would feel like? I can. It's realizable. This is not some pie-in-the-sky, get-rich-quick, overnight sensation scheme. It's not. It's a tried and true business model. Very unique, very easy. You join us, we'll show you how to do it. You can make a gigantic difference in your monthly income. Or you can make a small difference in your monthly income if that's what you're up to. Either way, what works for you works for me. Where there's a will, there's a way. You have the will, we have the way. Check it out. Become a Longevity member now. Ernest from Florida is up. He wants to know what's going on. Hey, Ernest, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, Doc, thank you very much for having me. I was calling to see what your suggestion would be for what they're calling a AV fistula.
Yeah, arteriovenous fistula, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a weird connection between an artery and a vein. Now, where do you have this?
Cervical spine, up in the neck.
Yeah, was it definitive or was it presumptive?
Definitive.
All right, and how do you feel?
I feel fine, but
how old are you?
54.
And did they just discover this because they were looking for something else?
Yes, I was having some neck pains, and I have degenerative disc disease in my lower back, and I guess it started working its way up, so they did do an MRI. That's before I found out all the bad stuff about MRIs, and they found the fistula along with degenerative disc disease in my neck.
And what did they tell you caused the fistula?
They didn't say nothing about that. They just said they recommend at my age to have it cauterized.
Yeah, okay. So all right. So let's just think this through, okay?
Okay.
So they didn't tell you what caused it, and most probably you've had it your entire life. Most probably you've had it your entire life. By the way, if you go, if you get dialysis, the MDs create an AV fistula. They create one. So if they create one on purpose, I mean, how dangerous can it be, number one? And number two, you've been living your whole life with it, and you've been doing just fine. The degenerative disc disease is another issue entirely. You stay tuned with me, Ernest. I'll dial this in for you on the other side of the break. Appreciate the phone call. Stick around, folks. More to come. This is Fire Your MD Now. For the astrologically minded amongst us, Mercury is now direct, and this means that you can start to move forward again. Start to get things done. No more screw-ups in communication. No more lost emails. No more nonsense. Move forward today, now. Get it done today, now. Invite people to the worldwide webinar tonight. Become an insider today. Join Longevity today. Make a difference in your life. Make a difference in the lives of somebody else every day of the week from now on. We can do it if we stick together. Quite frankly, that's the only way we're going to do it, by generating a grassroots coalition of the informed. Let's go back to Florida. Ernest, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, well, it's an interesting thing, and, we talk about this all the time, Ernest. For instance, if somebody has cysts on their kidneys, right, cystic kidneys, they've had those their entire life. They're born with them. And there's no harm and no foul, and the body's working quite fine. Thank you very much. And, they're 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. They hurt their back, fall off of a ladder, or they're playing touch football with their kid, tweak their back, so they go to the MD. The MD does an X-ray of the back, and they see that there's cysts on the kidney. Now, the MD recommends, oh, my God, we must operate tomorrow because you're going to die if we don't. And they're wrong. So if they don't know what causes this, it is entirely possible, and most entirely probable, you've been living with this your entire life, and it's not a problem.
Okay.
So I wouldn't operate on this. If I had one of these, I'd leave it the hell alone. Now, the degenerative disc disease is another thing completely. It's an entirely different thing. You don't get degenerative discs because you have discs. You don't get degenerative discs because you're getting older. You don't get degenerative discs because you have a bad gene. And I'm pretty sure you don't have a voodoo curse, although you do live pretty close to New Orleans, so that's possible. Right? I mean, the discs are going bad because your body's run out of the stuff that the discs need to stay healthy. That's why they're going bad. Now, if your body, remember, everything's connected, man, right? So
right.
If your body is so nutritionally deficient that it is generating strong and persistent symptoms with a degenerative illness in one part of your body, 5 will get you 10. There's a bunch of other stuff going on in other parts of your body that you've kind of just gotten used to, and you think it's just aging. I don't know, heartburn, restless legs at night, insomnia, hard to fall asleep, a little bit sluggish during the day, sex drive maybe not where it used to be 5 years ago, concentration maybe not where it used to be. Any number of things can be showing up here, right? But we all get used to it. And then we look around at all our buddies, and they're dealing with the same thing. And so we just think it's par for the course, and that's life. And, the MD is only too happy to have to solidify that thought. Oh, I'm lucky that we found this. You need surgical intervention tomorrow. Yeah, baloney, you need surgery. So, well, if I were you, what I would do is I would get on board as soon as you can with a comprehensive medical nutrition program that's inside your budget that supports and promotes your body's ability to be strong and healthy. and stop eating food that's hurting your body. And that's free. I mean, stopping something is free. You don't have to pay for that. You just stop doing it. Actually, quite frankly, if you clean up your diet along our lines, you're going to save money every month. So I can tell you what to do here for bones and joints and general overall health, but I have to know how much you weigh first.
About 140.
Okay, and how tall are you?
6 foot.
All right, that's a little bit underweight, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you think's up with that?
Eating habits.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. We got to be. Well.
I'll skip a meal and.
Then that's not a bad thing. Why do you do that? Just because you're busy? You're like a type A that you got to work all the time and I don't have time to eat. Is it like that?
Yeah, most part I just lose track of time, and then lunchtime becomes almost dinner time. So it's like, well, might as well just wait because otherwise I'll mess up dinner.
Yeah, well, I think you may have stumbled into a gold mine here because all of the research now that's being done with anti-aging clearly shows, this is an academic point, that the less food somebody eats, the longer they live.
Oh.
No kidding. Now, that really is counterintuitive, and it doesn't really make sense, right? But it's true that the less calories you eat on a daily basis, the longer you live.
Okay.
So having a calorie-restricted diet by hook or by crook is going to make you live longer, and it's a feather in your cap. So I don't have a problem with that. But, especially if it's happening because of the way that it's happening, which would be different than, geez, doc, every time I eat, something goes in my stomach, I feel sick, so I don't want to eat, right? That's completely different.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think you're a couple of steps ahead of the curve here in the limited calorie diet. But at 140 pounds, here's what I would do every month for 3 months. Are you experiencing pain, by the way, in any of this degenerative disc stuff? In my neck I am, and it's been basically constant every day. I mean, it's only a certain way I turn or move. And my back, I have good days. Over the last 2 weeks, I've pulled a muscle or caused it, something like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. But other than that, my back's been so. Okay. All right. Excellent.
I just got to be careful how I move, how I cough.
Yeah, I know. Don't you hate that? I mean, I don't you hate that? I hate that. For years before I knew Dr. Wallach, I was struggling with a low back problem. My back went out once so bad. My low back went out once so bad. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. I was stuck. I was stuck in bed. I couldn't get out of bed. It hurt so much. And heaven forbid I sneezed, because the pain would increase so much I'd pass out. I mean, it was bad, man. And I completely got on the other side of that with medical nutrition, so you can too. So here's what we do. Here's what I would do if I were you. Number one, eliminate the 10 bad foods. You can get that list for free on my website, all right, drglidden.com. Number two, one Healthy Start Pack 2.0 with the liquid calcium. One Healthy Start Pack 2.0 with the liquid calcium. All right, and that's a specific product in longevity.
Right.
It's called Healthy Start Pack 2.0 Liquid, I think, okay? And so one Healthy Start Pack 2.0 with liquid calcium. One bottle of Cal Toddy, that's C-A-L, like calcium, Toddy, T like Thomas, O-D-D-Y, one bottle of Cal Toddy. Mm-hmm. 3 bottles of liquid glucogel plus. 3 bottles of liquid glucogel plus. And 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, S-E-L-E-N, like Nancy, I-U-M, Selenium. That's what I would do every month for 3 months and eliminate the 10 bad foods. And what you should see here is slow and steady measurable improvement. Now, it might take you a year and a half to get on the other side of this completely. It might take you 3 months to get on the other side of this completely. I have no idea. But when we intervene effectively with medical nutrition and diet, people experience slow and steady positive change, right? It's like watching a flower grow. Oh, yeah, my back's a little bit better this week. Oh, my back's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I'm sleeping better. My energy's better. You know what? My appetite's better. You know what? I feel better. It's like that. And then as long as you get noticeable, measurable positive change in the first 90 days, and honestly, Ernest, most people feel a noticeable, measurable positive change in the first couple of weeks, right? Let alone the first couple of months. Then it's just a matter of time, man. You just got to dial in the discipline, maintain the program, and ride that horse as far as it's going to take you. I could build a multi-million-dollar business just focusing on bone and joint issues with people. I could. Because medical nutrition is awesome for bone and joint issues. It is awesome for bone and joint issues. Quite frankly, it's awesome for a lot of things, but, you know, I can help people recover from bone and joint issues in my sleep, and that's how easy it is. I think you're going to love how you feel. Do me a favor, though. You sound like a smart guy, Ernest, and an honest guy. I can kind of get that when I talk to people. Give me a call every 2 or 3 weeks with a report. I'd really appreciate that if we could track live on the radio, unadulterated, unfiltered, uncensored, how you're doing as you move forward here. I'd look forward to that, okay?
That sounds good. On the selenium, how many should I take daily?
Okay, so what did I say? 2 bottles a month or 3? Well, in a perfect world, you do 3 bottles a month, and that would be 9 a day.
Okay.
If you can't afford that, because I have no idea what your budget is, do at least 1 bottle of selenium a month. At least 1 bottle of selenium a month. That's not the most important thing for you to take. The most important thing for you to take is the extra calcium, the glucogel. Okay?
Okay.
For this particular, in order to support and promote.
That Cal Toddy.
Oh, yeah, and that's my favorite. If there was just one, if I was, only allowed by law to have 1 nutritional supplement, it would be the Cal Toddy. No kidding.
Sounds good.
All right, man. All right, Ernest, I appreciate your trust. Give me a shout back in a couple of weeks, and I'll look forward to it. Appreciate you very, very much. Let's go to North Carolina, where the weather is finer, and talk to June. Even though it's July, we're going to talk to June. Hey, June, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Several months ago, we spoke about my need to slow down my BTT intake for better absorption, and I needed to add OsteoFX with orange juice at night to help reduce trips to the bathroom and to support sleeping weight.
What happened?
There's been no real weight gain yet, but the blood pressure is holding for the most part, and I'm still making trips to the bathroom, but it's not as urgent as it had been before.
So we're making progress, and that was, 3 weeks ago?
No, that was 3 months, almost 2.5 months ago.
Okay.
I'm not as worried about that, but I do have two other issues that I think are much more of concern.
Okay.
One is I have a chronic post-nasal drip that I've had for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's really driving me crazy. Sometimes it makes me feel as though I'm choking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're allergic to your husband.
Well, actually, my husband, I'm not married. So.
Your boyfriend, June, you're allergic to your boyfriend. It's time for that bum to go.
That's right. And the second one, which is probably even more significant, is that I've had this intermittent pumping sensation in my head for a long time. 2 years ago, my physician said, that's often associated with AIDS or probably due to calcium buildup. One of the things that I've noticed is it's began to increase and have an increase in the varicose vein in my left leg. So,
all right. Now we're getting somewhere, girl. We're getting somewhere now. All right. Stick with me, June. Here comes a commercial break. I'll bring you right back on the other side of these good words. Stick with me. Boom! We're back, baby. We are back. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to schedule an appointment with me, the email to send that request to is Brenda at drglidden.com. That's Brenda, B-R-E-N like Nancy, D like David, A. Brenda at drglidden.com. We will give you the details. We're finishing up the program with June. I do not believe we will be able to get to Dave and the Thumb. Give me a call back tomorrow, Dave. I always appreciate it when you do call. I'll pull you up very first. Let's go back to June in July in North Carolina. June, are you still with me? Come in, June.
I'm here.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, hello. I'm with you loud and clear. Okay, so tell me specifically what it is that you'd like extra help with.
One has to do with that post-nasal drip that's driving me crazy, but the other bigger one has to do with the pumping in the head that I wondered if it had any relationship to the extended veins in my left leg that I did not have before, although the physician previously, some years ago, said it was probably calcium related.
That's interesting. Okay, so this pounding sensation you have in your head, is it associated with a headache or anything like that, or is it just kind of a weird pulsing sensation?
Just a weird pulsing. I mean, there may have been headache once or twice, but that's not usual.
Yeah, and is it all the time? Does it come and go, and how long does it last when you feel it?
Usually it's at night. Well, at least it used to be at night. Now I can feel it in the daytime.
Is it in your forehead, your temple, the top of your head, the back of your head? Where do you feel it?
In the back of the head, the top of the head, back and top.
And when you say nighttime, does that mean when you're in bed lying down? Does it wake you from sleep?
Not necessarily wake me, but once I lie down, it starts. And then after a while, it can sort of calm down once I kind of calm down.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
112 pounds now.
Okay, how many fish oil capsules you're taking a day, the EFAs? How many of those are you doing?
I don't. I'm only taking BTC and the FX.
All right, so we've gotten somewhere now. I want you to take, why don't you take the fish oil? Is that a religious thing? Why don't you do that?
Oh, no one has, I just didn't know.
Oh, you just didn't know, okay.
I'm new with this.
Oh, good. All right, well, I'm about to save you some money because the fish oil capsules are part of the 90 Essential Nutrient package.
Okay.
And when you buy the whole package, right, that's with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine that you're already taking, the calcium that you're already taking, and the fish oil, you get it for a better price than if you were to get each one of those three things separately.
Okay. Now, I've been doing some cod liver oil.
Okay, yeah, well, you want to stop that. So we don't recommend any oil in a bottle. We don't recommend any oil in a capsule.
Okay.
At all. Okay, so please stop using any oil that's in a bottle. So what I would like you to order next, the next time that you place an order, is one Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form. One Healthy Start Pack 2.0 in the liquid form.
Okay.
That's going to have everything that you have now plus the fish oil, and I'd like you to take one fish oil capsule 3 times a day. Okay. One fish oil capsule 3 times a day with meals. If you only eat twice a day, then do 2 fish oil with 1 meal and 1 fish oil with the next meal, okay?
Okay.
Now, I'd also like you to get 1 bottle of selenium a month. Selenium. It's called Ultimate Selenium, actually, in the catalog. It's a longevity product. Ultimate Selenium, you spell that S like Sam, E, L like Larry, E, N like Nancy, I-U-M, Selenium, S-E-L-E-N-I-U-M. Actually, 2 bottles of that at your body weight. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium, and please take 6 of those a day. 3 between breakfast and lunch, and 3 between lunch and dinner. Or you could do 2, 2, and 2 if that's easier for you. 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening. 6 selenium a day, 3 essential fatty acids a day. Maintain the discipline with the 10 bad foods, and please stop eating any oil that's in a bottle. And now for the chronic postnasal drip.
Mm-hmm.
For the chronic postnasal drip, I want you to get 1 bottle of Cell Shield RTQ. Cell Shield RTQ. And take 3 capsules a day. Cell Shield RTQ, 3 capsules a day. Wish we had more time, June. I appreciate your phone call very much. See you later, folks.
Thank you very much.